Sennin Gake. This isn't a specific technique, it's a set of principles for self-defense against multiple attackers, generally 3 or more. You could use it with 2 as well, but when we practice it, we usually practice it with at least 3 people. And it's going to incorporate all the techniques that you've learned up to this point and after this point, particularly once you learn the Shujin and even the Atemiwaza that you learn at the lower levels are going to be very helpful. But the principles are, assuming that I'm alone, we'll go into different scenarios where they're just outnumbered, but there's more than just you. But if I'm alone and we'll say facing 3 people, if I'm in an open area and I can run, that's my first technique. If I have 3 people that I'm facing and I have a path to escape and I believe that I can outrun them, that's my first technique. And I practice doing that. I mean, every week I practice running, and it's good to practice. A good way to practice this is when you're not warmed up. You know, if you're outside and you're just walking down the street, every once in a while, just take a block, just run without warming up, just to get used to going from 0 to 60. And have running in your training regimen. That's probably the best weapon, or the best self-defense that you have, if you can use that. Now, if I'm in an area where I cannot get away from this group and I have to deal with them, and I'm not near a wall, and I'm not surrounded, but they're all on one side of me, ideally what I want to do is I'm going to be aggressive and go towards one end of the group or the other. What I don't want to have happen is to head towards the middle and have them surround me. So I'm going to try to flank them, flank the group, move around to one side and face that person, and work on one person at a time. I'm going to go in and attack brutally on the first person to try to either scare or intimidate the rest of the group, or at least have 1 fewer people. If you can get that first person out of the way, now it's 2 against 1 instead of 3 against 1. If you have a wall available, I'm going to put my back to the wall. It's just a flat surface. The benefit of having a wall is it reduces 180 degrees of attacking area. I can see everyone coming. I don't have to worry about them coming from behind me. So this is my best strategic place to be, is against the wall. Also, if there's a scenario where maybe it's me and someone else and we're being attacked by a group, particularly if I'm surrounded, I'm going to do the same thing with my partner. We're going to stand together with our backs to each other to protect each other's backs and try to cut out, that group from getting to our backs. If I have a corner, and again, this is if I can't run or I can't escape and I'm stuck somewhere, I'm going to go to the corner. The corner is going to be my best option because now I've taken out 270 degrees of angles of attack. It's also going to create a funneling effect, especially if you have more than 3 people. It's going to make it very difficult for the group as a whole to get to you at once. So you can deal with people 1 or hopefully not more than 1 or 2 at a time. And in the corner, you can use this when you just have the back wall, but particularly with the corners, you can use the corners as a weapon. Get some kind of control of the head, you get a double necktie, going into the eyes, you get some kind of quick arm bar, you're going to use that and bounce the heads off the wall. That's going to be helpful as well. So these are just principles for dealing with a group. Also, once you've engaged with one person, finish that person. Now, this is common when we practice this. I start getting tangled up with someone and I'm not able to take them down quickly, and someone else starts grabbing me or hitting me. Don't stop doing what you're doing to the first person to turn and go to the other person. Whatever advantage you had in that first situation, finish that before you turn. Even if you're getting hit, the best if you can, turn the person or move around them and try to use them as a shield, but finish that first person. Don't start getting engaged with someone and then let them go and try to go to someone else after that. Even if you're getting hit, finish that first person before you go on to the next one. It's a scary scenario to be in. There's a lot of different ways to practice this. Some of the simple ones are we sometimes will use games, or we just do a game of tag. Is a good easy way to start this game. You get 3, 4, 5 people, and then you run through these scenarios. First I try to run and get to one end of the group and not allow more than 1 person to touch me at a time. And then when you start doing some of the self-defense drills, I will use the wall, I will use the corner. Start very slowly, because with multiple attackers, this gets ramped up really quickly and people can get hurt. One of the training things that I'll use is like a wave master. I'll put myself in the corner, I'll put a wave master in front of me, and I'll let people kind of come around the sides, but that allows me to actually punch and hit the wave master a lot harder than I would those people, and then I kind of engage with the people using the double necktie, maybe throw a knee, use an arm bar to throw them into another person or to the wall, and then intermittently striking the bag to kind of replicate being able to hit hard without actually hurting other people. I definitely recommend the first couple times you do this, working yourself up from just a simple game of tag to doing it with multiple attackers, but doing it in slow motion, kind of building your way up. It's really easy for people to get overwhelmed and overreact and get injured practicing these kind of drills, but they're really important skill set. And if nothing else, think of this as sort of a military strategy. If I'm going out, if I know that there's no way out of the situation, I'm definitely going to lose, whatever that means, not getting killed, getting knocked unconscious, being captured, whatever that is. If I'm going down, at least if I can take one other person with me, that's at least neutral. If I can take 2 people with me, that's a win, and a win. I mean, even if I'm, in a military situation, if I'm dying, if I take 2 people with me to help the rest of the people, the rest of my comrades, people on my team, people in my unit, that's a win. What do you do in a situation where there is no way out? It's just a different way of thinking about self-defense, but an important part of our training. So good luck training and Sennin Gake with a group. Hopefully be able to get back together with people in person again. But in the meantime, definitely some things to think about with your self-defense against a group of attackers. Sennin Gake.